Recognizes the gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Palmer, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Strzok, despite your assertions that the IG report did not in any way indicate bias, I would disagree with that. But also on page 424 of the Inspector General's report, he said that we therefore refer this information to the FBI for its handling and consideration of whether the messages sent by the 5 employees, of whom you're one, listed above violates the FBI's offense code of conduct. Are you under review by the FBI Office of Professional Responsibility?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. In January 2014, the Inspector General for the intelligence community, Mr. Charles McCullough, sent out a letter and indicated that he had received 2 sworn declarations from one intelligence community element. These declarations cover several dozen emails containing classified information determined by the intelligence community element to be at the confidential, secret, and top secret special access program levels, which were you aware of this letter?
What was the date of the letter? Sure.
January 14th, 2016.
I don't recall it now, but I may have known it at the time. Correspondence like that, sir, we had a team of anywhere from 20 to 60 people. So,
well, this is I understand that you can't know everything, and I get it, and I also want you to understand that I'm not going to be necessarily in an attack mode, because I want to get some answers.
Absolutely.
And this is a very, very serious problem that's raised by this letter. Whether it's confidential, secret, top secret, but certainly special access program. You're former military, correct?
Yes, sir.
You can understand then the danger that this could pose for our men and women in harm's way.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This was January, and again, on March 4th, you send the text saying that Hillary should win $100 million to nothing. Then on May 4th is when you said, now the pressure really starts to finish the mid-year evaluation. At what point in there was the memo changed from gross negligence to extremely careless?
Sir,
it was in May.
I'm not going to be able to give you a.
I'm not asking for a date,
but calendar. I can't give you a breakdown of what occurred before what. I'm sorry.
And I understand you've been here a long time, and so have we, but it was in May.
Okay.
And what appears here, and it's in the context of the need to finish the mid-year investigation, is that Donald Trump had just won the primary. It was obvious that he was going to be the Republican nominee. And I believe you when you say you're a patriot. I believe that you care deeply about the country, and I can see how you and some of your colleagues have concluded that it's in the best interest to change it from gross negligence to extremely careless, because you just couldn't comprehend a President Trump or in your mind the danger that might pose to the country.
That's not what happened, sir.
Well, something happened to change this from gross negligence to extremely careless, because extremely careless is not prosecutable.
I can tell you why it happened if you'd like me to answer, but I don't want to take your time if you don't.
Well, I know what the Inspector General said he thought happened. He said it was changed because it wasn't prosecutable, because it's not in the code. The Espionage Act doesn't have anything in the criteria for extremely careless. So I think, again, trying to give you some credit for your patriotism and your desire to do what's best for the country. I mean, our history is replete with people who've made decisions that they thought were the right decisions at the time that got outside the lines. And the text messages and the fact that clearly there is a bias. And I get it. We all have biases. It's what we do with them. It's how we act on them, how we are able to compartmentalize these things that determine the course of things, really the course of history. In the last few seconds here, I want to tell you that I appreciate the fact that you sought forgiveness from your family. I appreciate the fact that you realize that you have severely damaged the reputation of the FBI. And we're not here about the FBI. We're here about you and what you did. I literally sat here, and I mean this sincerely, and prayed for you and your family, because that I can't imagine what your family is feeling going through this. And I'm not going to question your integrity, but I will say this to you, and I hope this is constructive. I hope you take it as constructive. As I've watched your body language, as I've watched your facial expressions, it's almost as though you've enjoyed this. This is a competition for you in many respects, even now.
So I can tell you,
and I don't
nothing
think
further.
I'm not going to say your problem's a lack of integrity. I think it's a problem with hubris. And I think you need to take that into account in regard to how you handle this going forward, because it makes it more difficult for us to give you the benefit of the doubt.
The time of the gentleman
Chairman,
has
Chairman.
expired.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
The
Mr. Chairman.
gentleman may briefly respond.
Thank you.
Oh, no, sir. I appreciate your prayers. Sir, I can tell you when you look at what happened in the investigation, everything was done by the book. And you can assure yourself and your constituents and everybody you're talking to, when you look at both investigations, notwithstanding what decisions were made at a high level to say something, not say something, when you look at the investigation, what those men and women did, everything was done right and by the book. And I share your concern about the nature of the classified information. We found a bunch. TS, Special Access Program, confidential and secret. All that was found, all that was detailed in Director Comey's statement, so I appreciate it. But
In regard to that, I want you to understand, everybody here who
The
knows,
gentleman's
knows
time
I'm
has
serious.
expired.
Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
Gentleman's time has expired.
Mr. Chairman,
The chair-
parliamentary inquiry. Relating to the rules of this hearing, parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman will state her parliamentary inquiry.
The witness had attempted to answer the gentleman's question.
And he was allowed to.
Mr. Chairman, just a moment, please. On a question that's been asked over and over again about the gross mismanagement, gross negligence issue. And the witness was not allowed at that time to give the clarification. I think the record deserves the gentleman's clarification about the gross
The gentlewoman has not stated a parliamentary
negligence,
inquiry.
which was not written by the gentleman, as I understand.
The gentlewoman from